Welcome to the Free to Be Show. Today, I have a special guest who is part of a new community that I've joined just recently. And I'll introduce her shortly. She is currently having a bit of technical difficulty getting in. Um, but I want to begin the show as I always do. In the month of December, I am talking about the inner inquiry. And I believe that we must have a season of inner inquiry and receiving. And so for me, I've noticed that organically last year and this year, that's what's been happening, beginning from, I would say, just the end of December or just the end of November through through to the beginning of March. So while I'm still, you see me very, very active. A lot of people say that, oh my goodness, you're so active and busy. Actually, there's a whole lot of me going within. And so this month, with these separate conversations, notice also this month I don't have a panel discussion. That's what this going within is about. And I'm just inviting you, viewers and listeners, to be in that inner inquiry and see what it looks like for different people. So I'm going to begin the show with the agreements, right? So in the introduction, I have these different agreements. So when you listen to that, um, align yourself with that energy, and then we'll begin the show. I have changed some of the words just a little bit, so listen very closely and see what you hear. Also, one more note before I play the introduction. For those of you who are viewing this, you will see that I've changed my moniker, right? So previously, or for most of this year, I've been the ultimate joy monger, right? So joy mongering for me is a verb, right? It's a word that I created or a phrasing that I created. And what has dropped in for me is I would like to, right within the inner inquiry, I would like to separate my energy from the doingness and more into the beingness. And so, ultimate joy, um, quite frankly, means allowing um, myself and those who I serve to achieve their bliss because our bodies are actually designed for bliss. And there isn't any other uh, there isn't any other state of being, right? However, we disbelieve and disconnect from who we were created to be so deeply that we believe that we must be in our doing. So my hyphenating the ultimate joy has now is just a reflection and an invitation to be in your doing, to be in your being. And in that beingness, there are two definitions of the word goddess. One is a female deity, right? Clearly, I'm not resonating with that one. The second one is a woman who is adored for her beauty. And so, in the in the whole realm of what Replenish Me is about, it's about a woman uh, perceiving herself, right, in all the ways that make her beautiful. And so it's not about you as a woman being adored by others for your beauty, but you as a woman adoring yourself and your beauty. So, this update of the my moniker being the ultimate joy goddess instead of the ultimate joy monger. Do you see the energy feels different, right? Mongering, it's like you're doing something and you're working really hard at it. And goddessing is being, it's a very feminine energy. Um, so this is my invitation to you. And as you listen to the introduction, be in your goddessing. Okay, I'll be right back after this. Let's normalize that smiling is being present with your soul and accept the power to replenish comes from within. Let's agree that you're the creator of your world and own the energy of your words. Most importantly, replenish with your body wisdom. Welcome to the Free to Be Show. I'm your host, Cordelia Gaffar, the ultimate joy goddess. I'm on a mission for Black women to get your ultimate joy on. Replenish Me is here to help. The 5-step nurturing process licks all the T's and bounces on all the I's. Receive this show as medicine to elevate your soul. Are you free? Receive Replenish Me. So notice there at the end, I said receive Replenish Me. So this is about you being in your season of receiving. Replenish Me was created, as I say there, for specifically for Black women, because that's my life experience. I am a Black woman, right? And you will notice that no matter what extraordinary life experiences, um, like envelop me, I would say, I am always looking for the lesson in that and where it can pour into me. So as I have been navigating, right? I went through a very contentious divorce. I'm just naming it as it is. And in that experience, I learned a lot of things about myself. I learned what can pour into me and what does pour into me through these extraordinary experiences, right? And one of the things I learned is, you really have a choice. You have a choice to name things and make those names mean something. Like, for example, there are a lot of things that I learned about the family court system in the United States, and I could name it the patriarchy is out to diminish women, or I could name it these laws are right, they exist, and they served a purpose at some point, and there may be an opportunity here for them to be reviewed again. And also looking at the good of what is there, and then just the opportunities to upgrade, and what I make it mean for me is these are opportunities also for me to upgrade. So the great part about all of this is I learned that I wasn't nurturing myself deeply enough. And so this is why I um, I just continue to excavate deeper and deeper, go within, and continue these conversations with women about what is it you do to nurture yourself? How do you free your mind and stay deeply connected to your heart, no matter what you are experiencing? And so, this is the invitation that I have with my guest. Um, and notice, I still will, yes, I say that Replenish Me was created for Black women, but that doesn't mean that women who are not Black cannot benefit from Replenish Me. But what it does mean is that in 2023, my intention is to really focus on serving Black women in a deeper way. Um, and I do believe in an overall, sisterhood. And again, I would have to say, in especially in the time before I got a divorce, I detected that there wasn't, synergy between all sister systems. I'll say it that way. And since my divorce, I've really noticed a distinct demarcation of where the sisterhood really breaks down, and uh, sadly, in color lines. I can't say that like um, broad brush, but definitely 9 times out of 10, um, there is a lot more synergy within, when I'm with Black women versus when I'm not with Black women. And there's a shift in the conversation that's gone from, like all the stereotypes that there are about Black women um, show up. And when you talk about unconscious bias, it's like people don't realize the biases they have about single Black women until they open their mouths and they say something just extraordinarily rude. So, anyway, that is my soliloquy for today. My guest has arrived, and I'm now going to introduce you to one of my, like I said, my new sisters in my community, all the way from France, Melanie Riot. Good morning.
Hello.
Welcome. How
How are
are you?
you?
I'm well.
Technology.
It's great when it works, and it's even more character building when it doesn't. So, I, but I have to say, your, you really you showed up anyway, right? I can imagine like it's been mildly frustrating these few minutes that you've been trying to get in, and you did it, and you're here.
And I'm here. And I was like, yes, I can do it. There's always a solution.
Yeah, you've done it. Yeah. So, great morning, Wanda. So tell me, Melanie, today we're having this conversation about the inner inquiry. Are you free? And so I think maybe perhaps this experience you had this morning can help you really look at yourself. It's like, how many levels of frustration did you go through just now? Let's just be honest here. This is a free to be show. Just let it hang out.
10 out of 10.
Okay. See?
And then you have all your thoughts like, I should have done this. We should have done this. Why is it not working? Why is it now? Usually, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, oh, there's always a solution.
Yeah, let's talk more about that, because I mean, this is what happens, right? Because every day there's we have evolved, right? We're coaches, and we guide other people's lives, and we're human too. And so
Mm-hmm.
there's always something that just discombobulates us a lot. And so in those moments, I'm not going to talk about those moments because you had one just now. So let's talk about like, what did you do to come here and look so nice and, poised? What just happened? Take me through the last 15 minutes.
Well, it's funny actually, because I was like, I'm gonna play one of there's a few mantras that I love to listen, that I discovered on my last trip to Bali. That was right before the pandemic. So it was back in 2000 and late 2019, and I had about like 13 minutes, and I was like, I'm going to play this one mantra that I love and do a quick meditation just to really kind of center. And I always do that, before any coaching sessions or any healing sessions, and to really kind of center and tune in. And then I was like, oh, I checked the time, and I was like, okay, well, maybe I should actually give myself a little bit more time just to make sure technology works. And here we go. It doesn't. um, and I just, I mean, obviously we're in communication, and I started looking online, and I tried different things, and I thought, you know what, this is something I cannot control, that situation. The only thing I have control, I don't really like this word, but
Yes.
I can decide how I'm going to handle the situation, because the situation is just the way it is, right? It is. Um, and I just, I just kept telling myself, there must be a solution. It's going to work. And if it doesn't work, well, maybe it wasn't meant to be. For a quick minute, I thought that. It's like,
But I love that
it's
part.
too bad, but and here it worked. You see, so once again, it shows us the power of the mind.
You see what I heard there? And I saw, like, you were sending me messages, right? Um, and so the last message I saw was this, oh man, I wish I could blow this up to share, but you had this ugh, right? And this
Mm-hmm.
emoji face. And for me, when I saw that, I was like, she's surrendered. And so I surrendered too. And then boom, there you were. I was like, hey, okay. So, like what you said, when you release the control, right? And that's what the whole Free to Be show is about, is just surrendering control, right? Just just be. It's okay. Everything is, you know? And if it's meant to be, then it will.
It
And
will.
if it's not meant to be, then it won't. And we don't have
Exactly.
to make it mean anything, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I love that.
But not
Mm,
giving up, you know, come be in action, but also be in action, and I think it's this balance between, yes, it is what it is, and yes, there's nothing I can do about it, but also, no, actually there's a lot I can do about, but what is it? And so it's there's the situation that I cannot change, and my frustration is not going to change what's happening.
yes.
but there's also what I feel inside and what my mind is telling me, and that I can control or I can manage. And I decide how I'm going to manage that. I'm conscious of those thoughts that are coming and how it's going to make me feel in my body, and then that I can, that I have that power.
Yes. And let's drill into that, because what you guys don't know about Melanie is she's an energy healer and a certified holistic coach. So, like, the beautiful world of emotions, um, harmonizing your energy, and using nutrition in the mix of all that is what I like to call body wisdom. So, what I was hearing you say there is like you freed up your energy. That was the surrender piece. And then you allowed your actions to be guided um, from that space, not from the space of attachment, but from a space of detachment. So let's talk a little bit more about the detachment from the energy there. No, that's not the right question that I'm asking. What do you hear me saying there?
The detachment from, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's okay, meaning the results of
Hmm.
this situation, technology is being difficult.
Yeah.
Detaching from this result, but also so surrounding to the moment, surrounding to this is what's happening, this is how it's making me feel, but also being conscious of I still can decide how I'm going to handle this situation. I don't have control of the situation, but I can handle how I'm going to be in it.
Hmm. Yeah. And that regulates your vibration, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And let's talk a little bit more about how we can regulate our vibration. I know we had an energy healing session, um, but one thing that I've become aware of recently is that when I'm in that more surrendered, relaxed state, um, the the thoughts that come through are more deeply aligned with who I am, without me trying to figure out how to be a certain way. So let's talk about like the work that you do and how you help people to get there.
That's a big piece. um, and yes, absolutely. Whatever you just said, I think it's um, during those healing sessions is allowing for the person who receive, is allowing to, when we always talk about letting go, you have to let go, you have to let go. Well, that's easy on paper. That's always what clients said to me. Well, it's not simple. Well, I know. um, but it's also, I think when we do get to the state, and anyone can get to that state, it's just a matter of practice. And it's just a matter of, I trust that I can receive, and what I receive is positive and good. Um, and I allow myself to receive. And so when the person who's receiving a session, um, the thoughts are always going to be there. And that's, I always tell my clients, okay, the thoughts are like little shooting stars, they're always going to be in your mind, especially at the beginning of a session, because the mind, I think, I can't remember how many, there's thousands and thousands of thoughts a day that we have. And actually, it's because it's important. When I was back in New Zealand and I did a Vipassana. And for those who don't know Vipassana, you go to a center retreat for 10 days and you're in complete silence and you have to give away everything. So you have no distractions. So no phone, no books, no journal, no nothing. You just have your thoughts and your mind with you. And I remember what struck me the most was I was driving myself nuts. And that's how I realized. I think my mind started to come down on day 3.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really this experience of doing this Vipassana is I realize how much your mind goes like this. And it's nonstop. It's just nonstop. So I always tell my clients, it's okay. Don't resist your thoughts because they are there. And it's just like shooting stars. They come and go, and they're part of the picture. And and when we know that and we are with it, and we can really let go on a physical level also, that we start tapping into, I would say, connection to source or spirit or higher self, or and it's not coming from here, it's coming from above us, I would say. And as a practitioner, it's the same thing, is completely letting go of who I am as a person and what my mind wants to do or go, or and it's being completely neutral to allow myself to receive information that it's not coming from my mind, it's coming from, I will call it spirit. Does that answer your question?
It does answer my question. And I love the way you said that. I'm going to tweak it a little bit. So, a lot of times people will say to me, that they don't necessarily resonate with, spirit or universe or whatever. And what I'm also hearing you talk about there is like your cellular body wisdom, right? So it is like everything that happens is just information for us, right?
Yes.
And our cells have receptors, right, for certain types of information. And so this is how um, the thoughts actually can also form, right? So there are external forces that come to us that we receive,
Mm-hmm.
and thoughts are formed from that. Now, this is happening all the time, and sometimes we uh, recognize patterns, and that's where our emotions come from, because now we have, that's where the attachment to the thoughts are. It's like, oh, I've seen this pattern before, I know this means I must do, and I must feel, right? And what I'm hearing you say is, instead of doing that, just pause. This is information. Does it require a response? And do I have to think anything about this? Right? Um, and if I think something about it, does it have to mean anything, or does it have to mean what it used to mean? Is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
Um, well, there is a piece of it, especially after healing sessions, where I get information. The person can get information, and each person is different, and each session is different. That's very important, I think, also because people come with an expectation to feel a certain way, or because the prior session was this way, then it's not how it works. And sometimes it's more physical. Sometimes it would be more images. Sometimes, it could be more emotional. And sometimes there's not much happening, or they think there's not much happening. And it's the same thing for me as a practitioner, you know. And I think it's, um, to give you an example, yesterday, this woman came and she had a session and she had this beautiful, um, she went on this beautiful journey and she was sharing with me everything that she saw. And it was the first time that she had so many images. And, and it's okay, you know, and I specifically told her, take it as it is, just like a dream, you know, when you dream and you have all those vivid images when you wake up. Okay, it's information. You tapped into something that you didn't tap into before. But you can't tap into that if you're so like on the go, overstressed in your mind. It's just a lot more difficult to access that. And on a physical level, and that's what we call and it shoot out to one of my amazing teacher, Gary Strauss, back in LA with the Life Energy Institute. He always talks about holding space. And I think it's really about energy work is also it's it's holding space for the body to do the work that is is was built to do. You know, it's giving that time and space to, yeah, the body has this inner intelligence. It's this very complex machine, but we forget about that. And so when we give it the time and space to do what it's supposed to do, then magic happens. But we
Yeah.
don't always consciously see it at first.
I love
Yeah.
that part about the sessions when people perceive that nothing's happening, right? Like how many days later do they like text you or call you and just be like, Melanie, blah, 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 blah. Is that what happens?
Yeah. And sometimes it's months later
Yeah.
because one thing after something, they're like, oh my God. And then they connect the dots. And it's like, you know, since that session, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
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 So that's the, this is the awareness that is happening all the time. But our operating system doesn't always perceive it, you know? So
Yeah.
we're going to take a short commercial break. And when we come
Mhm.
back, would you uh, do like a short centering for us? Would you be open to that?
Like a quick, what do you mean by sittering?
Or like a energy clearing, something that we could
Yes.
do, just to like align the heart and the mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we'll be right back, and then we will do that. Practicing self love is to nurture the soul. And to nurture the soul requires elemental reconnection with nature. Fire is your sexuality, and earth your mindset, air your voice, and water your heart set. Replenish Me St. Martin experience is what you require for your soul. Join me February 19th through 25th in 2023. Release, restructure, refresh, and rebirth. Nurture your soul elementally in St. Martin. Okay, Melanie. So I'm going to put you on the big screen, and if you can just share with us a very quick um, process that we can use. Is that all right?
Yeah. How long? Like a couple of minutes, just to for anyone to do it now and then be able to do it anytime.
Yes, like a sample for people to go back to do any time, but something we can do with you now also.
Okay. No problem.
Thank you.
Will you tell me so I can take the as long as I need, like few minutes, 5 minutes?
5 minutes, if that's what you need. Yes.
Yep.
Do you want me to
Okay.
put a timer on for you?
No, no, that's
Okay.
all good.
Okay. Feel free to begin.
Okay. All right. So we're going to start with sitting comfortably on a couch, on a chair, on a bed. Be comfortable, seated, your spine straight. You can close your eyes. And it would be best if you can feel the floor. So if you're seated, have your feet touch the floor. If you're laying down, that's okay. And then here we're going to take 3 deep breaths. So we're going to go together and take 1. And then exhale. And I invite you to pay attention to where you can feel the air going through your nose. And when you exhale, you can feel the air being slightly warmer. Into another deep breath. And then I invite you to pay attention to your feet that are anchored on the floor. And slowly go up. Feel your knees. Your thighs. The top of your legs. And I invite you to relax. Just relax your legs. Feel the floor. See those roots coming from your legs down to your feet. Imagine the roots of a tree. And now you can feel your hips. You can move a tiny little bit if it feels right. And notice how they're tight. Do you feel any pain? And then we're gonna pay attention to your belly. Where is your breath coming from? Is your belly expanding or not? Is your breathing short? Or is it long and deep? Now we'll slightly go up to your chest. Is it contracted? Is it open? Pay attention to how it feels. Any sensations, any pain, anything that you may perceive. Observe it with no judgment. Now we're going to go up. And the chest is the heart chakra. We're going to stay there just a few more minutes as you feel right in this moment. And then I invite you to lean back a little bit and stretch a little bit to be taller, nice and straight on your chair, heart open. We're going to tune into your shoulders. You can even rotate them if that feels right. Neck, your jaw. Relax your jaw. Your face. How do you feel today? How are you feeling in this moment? And then your eyes, your eyebrows. And I invite you to see this beautiful tree from the top of your head, growing, expanding, evolving. What do you want for yourself? Where do you want to be? Who do you want to become? And this tree keeps expanding, the branches, the leaves, the flowers. It's gold and beautiful, just as you are. What is your body telling you today, in this present moment? If you feel any pain, stay with this pain. Give it some love and patience, some space. How does it feel to be you in this moment? And what do you need? And I invite you to take conscious 3 deep breaths again, focusing on the air coming up, fresh air from one nostril, and you're going to feel this slightly warmer air coming out when you exhale from the other nostril. And very slowly, you can stop moving your toes and fingers. Move your hips, maybe your shoulders. Maybe you want to stretch a little bit. Whatever feels right in this moment. And open your eyes when you feel ready.
Melanie. My goodness. Hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah. My body feels so much freer than it has in a long time. I tend to hold a lot of tension in my knees and my elbows. And I was grateful this morning, actually, before the practice we just did, that my knees were free. But I was noticing during the practice that my elbows are also free.
Mm.
So I love how you took us through our body and you didn't require us to not move. And you allowed us to listen to the body wisdom. And so my body said that I matter
Mm.
and I require time and space.
You
And
matter and you
yeah,
require time and space.
yeah, thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for this.
Yeah, so
Oh, thank you.
she really enjoyed that. I guess Louisa came in. I'm not sure if Louisa participated, but that was a very lovely practice. So as we continue, in the month of December, um, with this inner inquiry about the heart and mind alignment, repeat this practice, um, just listen to this episode many, many times.
As
and
many times as you need.
and of course, to get the full, extended version of this, you can reach out to Melanie, and her information is in the show notes. Um, on Instagram, she goes by the Riot Method. So she's created her own methodology. As you can hear, um, that practice isn't like anything that I'm really familiar with. Like most meditations are like, don't move,
Stay still.
stay still, don't listen to anything. So this, I guess, is a sample version of the Riot Method. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot more to that, but
Oh yeah.
this is a piece of, and it's interesting because I have to say I don't do that live very often, even barely at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was in, thank you for this. um but it's definitely, I would say, just even myself, like being in the space with you, even though we're not in the same space, we are. And 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 yes, and then just being tuned in to the other people's energy and vibration, and just listening, really. It's just, listening to what comes through. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm loving this time with you, Melanie. And I appreciate, I'm so grateful for all the opportunities here for us today to like real time be free to be, right? Um,
Yeah.
like our words really do create our world, and the energy of our intention. This is why, like, we say things and we don't really know what we're saying. And so this is what it's like to be free to be. Um, and so this is something to think about when people ask for patience. Be careful, because when you ask for patience, what you'll get are experiences that create patience. You know what I mean? So you may not like them in the moment, but you don't have a choice but to wait. So
And always know that you're supported and better is coming. Even in your frustration.
even in your frustration, right? And then you even get the opportunity to question, should I be frustrated? Like, is that a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know for me, my a lot of my meltdowns, I have to laugh at myself because I'm like, wait, am I really acting like a toddler right now? Like,
Yes, but it feels so good sometimes, right? You just need to let
oh,
it out.
I do love. I mean, I'm not hating on being a toddler though. It's like I do enjoy that. Like, I do invite everyone to get on the floor and have a good tantrum. Like an adult tantrum it's so freeing.
Yeah. And yes, and it's funny because usually in people's mind it's like, oh, you guys with all being lovey and positive and all that stuff. It's one thing to think and being positive, and like you were saying earlier, like the information that you get, the news that you watch, the people that you surround yourself with, um, has an impact on you. But being positive and making sure you always keep your vibration very high, in like many ways, doesn't mean you can't be angry, doesn't mean you can't be sad or scared, or and when I say anger, like, yes, if you want to scream out and cry, and then please do, because that's, we are human beings. And actually I think that people don't do enough, and that's also part of my work, is holding space for people to feel and allow those emotions, um, to to fully be free. Yeah.
Especially anger, especially for women.
Yes,
Do you mostly work with women?
I do. Yeah, I do
Mhm.
work with men, but I mostly work with women. Yeah,
Women have a lot of anger.
but I'm not always conscious of it. And I was, it took me a long time to tap into that, to be conscious of, oh my God, yes, I do have a lot of anger. Do I? Oh yeah, I do. um, yeah, that was
And it's a
so.
beautiful thing. Anger is not it's so misunderstood, you know. Hi Bobby. Yeah, like anger is so misunderstood. It is I find it to be a great power source, you know? It's a great
Absolutely.
wisdom. And yeah, so just allow yourselves to be free to be angry, and don't judge it at all. And if you need some help with processing this, this is why I introduce you to Melanie. She's great.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So is
and
there anything else you would like to put in this space before we close today?
let me think. I mean, what comes up is gratitude. I'm I feel so grateful for having this moment in sharing wisdom, and yeah. If I could, I would give you a big hug, and I would give a big hug to all of you online. That's more my my way to show appreciation and love, and but we can also do that, yes, gratitude. Thank you.
I'm feeling your hug.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah, opening ourselves up to receive the gratitude and the energetic reciprocity of this space, um, is such a it's available to us always. So yeah,
Yes, and
thank
thank
you.
you for the little comments that should you online.
Yeah, yeah. We've had it looks like Bobby, Wanda, and Louisa here today. Wanda says women receive so many attitudes and stuff from everyone that the anger comes in and we not know it's there. That's a good point. Sometimes the anger we have is not ours.
Also,
Yeah, there's that.
there's that also.
Yeah, good point. So, yeah, I invite, my viewers and listeners to connect with Melanie and give yourself the time and space, especially during the month of December, to be in this inner inquiry and to receive and to deeply um, nurture yourself and replenish from within.
Yeah.
And
And to feel, I would add.
oh
And to
yes,
feel.
to feel, yeah. So you know what is yours and what is not, and just to feel, to experiment with feeling. So
Yeah.
So that's all for today. And until next week, I'll have another beautiful woman here from another part of the world sharing her inner inquiry. And I'm sure that, you know, the divine will allow us another technological experiment because it's been happening like every week. So,
Oh.
yeah. So this is like, oh, okay. So this is that's why I said be careful with your words. So, yeah.
It's a pattern.
It's
It's a,
it's a pattern. So I was like when you texted me I was like, yeah, she'll be here about 10-15 minutes in or not, you know.
that's
So
so
it is
funny.
what it is. So
It is what it is.
right.
Oh,
Bye for now.
thank you. You guys take care.
You're welcome. Until
And
next.
happy holidays.
Oh, happy holidays. Be free. So are you free? Do you own your part in that? Rather than lingering in shame, guilt, and despair, let's see where you can create more freedom, more joy, and replenish from within. Visit me at cordeliagaffar.com and sign up for the 5 ways to only create joy. Until next week, be free.